In today's video tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a festive and fun New Year's Eve themed cake design. The first thing that we're working on is our champagne bottle, and this is going to be cut from gum paste, which I've tinted with Americolor avocado green coloring gel, and I've rolled it out to about 1/8 of an inch, and we greased our countertop with a little bit of vegetable shortening so that it wouldn't stick. And I'm just going to lay that right on top of the gum paste. If you don't have gum paste, you could also use fondant with a little bit of Tylose powder kneaded into it. But we wanted to use gum paste because we want it to dry nice and firm. This is something that you would want to do at least a day in advance just to be on the safe side. And I have a cookie sheet here that's been greased with a little bit of Crisco and dusted with a little bit of powdered sugar so that the bottle won't stick. And you can just lay that right there and just let it firm up. But this is one that we made yesterday, and so it's already dry, and this is what we're going to be working with. Okay, so now I have these fondant embossers that I'm using to print 2018 across the label of our champagne bottle. Okay, so we're just going to do a rectangular label, and I'm going to get rid of some of this excess first, and then we'll just kind of center it onto the bottle and cut off the excess. So let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to attach this with a little bit of piping gel, and then we're going to decorate the bottle. Okay, so now I'm just brushing the neck of the bottle with a little bit of piping gel, and I'm going to layer on just some thinly rolled gum paste. I started doing this off camera and realized y'all might want to see this part. So I'm just layering it on, and I'm just going to form it to the shape of the bottle. And we'll cut away the excess. And I left a little piece down here because that's going to come to a point. And we'll clean that up in a minute. And now I'm just going to let this come to a point. Okay, so next we're going to be painting this portion gold, and to do that I'm going to create a paint with my luster dust. I'm going to be using highlighter, but you could also use just a metallic gold dust like Rolcom Gold, what I often use. And we're going to mix that. We're going to put a little bit of this on our palette and then mix it with a little bit of this is Everclear, or you could use vodka, but we do that because it dries really quickly and the alcohol will evaporate, leaving just the nice color behind. So what you'll do, I'm going to do this outside because BB is allergic to it, but what you'll do is just put a little bit of dust in the palette, and then just little by little put your Everclear or vodka into it until it becomes a nice thick consistency like paint. Okay, so here's our finished bottle. You can see that we have the pretty gold. I also brushed a little pearl dust, just dry pearl dust. I didn't create a paint over the white label, and then we have just some pixie dust sprinkled all over it. To make the pixie dust stick, you can just take a slightly dampened paper towel and rub over your gum paste really lightly in the places that you want it to stick. Okay, so now that we have our bottle ready to go, I wanted to show you, you could do an alternate to the design that we're going to go with. The alternate would be, especially if your gum paste bottle isn't quite as firm as it should be, you could just glue it to the cake with a little bit of buttercream, and then you'll let all the little chocolate swirls and sprinkles come out of the top as if it's just the champagne bottle has just popped open. But what we're going to do is it's going to look more like it's being poured, so it's going to be at an angle like this. So to do that, we're gonna have to use an anchor, which is a lollipop stick. So I'm just gonna come down here and we'll flip it over. And then I just have some of our gum paste rolled out. And all I need is a strip that's wide enough to cover the lollipop stick. So I'm gonna put the bottle at the angle that I want it to be. And then I'm gonna brush on a little bit of piping gel in the place that I want the lollipop stick to go. And doing it this way, it's a nice angle. Okay, so then we'll just take a little piece of our gum paste. I'm just trimming it way down. I'll put a little bit of piping gel on this side also, or you could even, probably you could get away with just dampening it with water, but I just like to use piping gel. And we'll just press that gently. I don't want to break my bottle, so I just have to be gentle with it. And just let that firm up for several minutes until it's secure enough that you can pick it up. Okay, so you can see that I've placed the bottle and I placed it far enough over so that the edge is just touching the edge of the cake. And so what we're going to do now is I have some melted white candy coating, and I just loaded it into a disposable piping bag, and we are going to make some swirls that will be sort of like swirls of champagne coming out of the bottle. And so however you want to do that, I think I'll do sort of some scrolly shapes and also some that just look like teardrops. If you would like to, you could even just skip the chocolate and do all of this in buttercream. But this gives it a little bit more of a raised look. So I don't know how many of these I'm actually going to use, but I want to make sure that I have plenty. So I'm just going to do lots of these swirlies. And then I'm going to brush over them. Once I've chilled them in the freezer for a few minutes, they'll be nice and hard. I'm going to brush over them just using a dry brush and some edible gold luster dust. Using my number cutters and star cutters, I've cut out 2018 and also some stars, and I'm just brushing my numbers with piping gel. And then I just follow that up with some sanding sugar or sparkling sugar. I tried it with sugar pearls, but they were a little too big, so they distorted the number. I just think this looks really nice with the sparkling sugar. So I'm just gluing this onto the cake. And by the way, this is a 6-inch double barrel cake, but you could use this same design on any size of cake. And I'm just kind of staggering my numbers. I think my 8's upside down. Okay. All right. So I have my chocolate shapes chilling, and I'm going to grab those and meet right back. Okay, so here are the chocolate pieces that I piped earlier. Once they had chilled, I brushed over them with a dry brush and just some Rolcom Super Gold. You can see that it's not a true gold. It's more of a champagne-y color because the waxiness of the chocolate doesn't really hold on to that gold powder. But anyway, it works well with our design. So we will not be using all of these, I'm sure, but I just wanted a variety so that I could have plenty to choose from. Okay, so I'm just going to start with this drop right here. And this will look like the first drop coming out of the bottle. Whoops. And then from here, we'll just continue to add little drops and swirls and also sugar pearls, which we're going to just leave these white. But we're going to bring it almost like a cascade. It's just going to curl down around our 2018. So this part is just kind of fun. It's just a matter of filling in with your swirls however you like. And if your chocolate pieces become too soft, just throw them in the freezer for a minute. And so that you can safely pick them up. Okay, so now I'm just filling in with our chocolate curls and swirls and then the pearls. And for the pearls, I'm just taking a tip 3 and wherever you want to add a pearl, you can just pipe. You can just pipe your buttercream dots wherever you'd like the pearl to go. Or if you want to skip this step entirely and just have your bubbles be represented by the buttercream dots, I think that would work too. So what I'm going to do now is just a quick bead border, and I'm going to do the same around the top and bottom, and you just go slightly up and back down again and just release the pressure as you pull forward. Okay, so this is just a really delicate border, really simple, and we'll meet back as soon as we've covered the top and bottom. Okay, so our cake is finished. I love how it came out. I think that the movement of the chocolate swirls is really nice, and also for the bubbles, if you don't want to use sugar pearls because they are a little bit on the firm side, you could just use buttercream dots in the same way and it would still be a really pretty look. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.